Last time on The Lion and His Mane.
Well, you drop it and all you hear is, dickhead, yobbo.
When he defecates, he becomes so active. They had like a horse and there was a goat that was in for election.
Irish pubs across the world, right? Sort of like the McDonald's of pubs.
They are.
Because you know
Yeah,
what
they're
you're getting at an
everywhere,
Irish
yeah.
pub.
Tequila is so close to its natural form, which is cactus piss.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to ramble! Welcome back to episode Waru.
Hello.
Of Leo the Lion, Slade the Mane, the podcast, the one and only.
And for those of you who don't know what wadu means, it means 8.
8
That's
in,
right. There's 7 others.
in Te Reo Māori.
Oh, Atahua.
And Leo is known as Te Waha, which translates to the mouth.
That's one of those things where somebody calls you that name. Like when you get that nickname because people are kind of trying to mock you. Like, man, you talk too much. Yo, you're Te Waha. You're the bloody mouth around here, eh? Oh, you bloody talk all the time. And then, so to take the power back, you name yourself Te Waha and then go and try and use it as if
Bro,
you're
you
getting
own
praise.
it. You
Yeah.
own it, man.
I do that because I mean, man.
Well,
I can
see, the
talk.
same happened to me with being a hoha. I owned that. Hoha's a nuisance. bro.
Poha is a nuisance, yeah.
I owned that.
Nanakia is another nuisance. And Tamaiti Tutu is another nuisance, but it's somebody who tutus with things, always has to like play with things
Tamaiti
and
tutu.
touch things.
I understand. Yeah, tutu. Yeah, I remember tutus, bro.
What have we got lined up for today's show, Slane? Let the people know.
Well, man, I've been doing some Netflixing. I watched a very...
Netflixing.
Netflixing, that's right. Getting me working on my Netflix tan, my Netflix guns, of course. Actually, I watched a very interesting documentary on the Rolling Stones and their set of concerts they recently did across South America.
Right on.
Yeah, man. It's really interesting.
They've done shows all around the world. I've seen them here at Western
Except
Springs. and-
Never in, or maybe it was back in the 60s, it might have done Cuba. But then Cuba, from 1965 to 1985, completely banned rock music. To the point where if you had long hair like yourself,
Yeah.
you would have been beaten by cops, had your head shaved, thrown in jail.
They'd shave your head,
Yeah.
whoop your butt, and then kick you into jail.
Not in that order, they beat you up first. Yeah.
Oh, but what if that just makes it harder to shave around the lumps?
Yeah, man. Literally 20 years they were not allowed to listen to the music they wanted.
My
Like,
gosh.
what a
I mean,
mess, right?
How do you even like justify that where you're like, I don't
Because
like...
they thought it was like, oh, the West coming in, because they were a communist country.
the West, yeah.
Oh, the West, like, oh, these idiots with the directions.
Well, I suppose you could look
West
at rock
side,
music as being
east
West,
side,
but...
they're all directions. Pull your heads in. I'm talking to all you clowns out there who jump on this.
Well, you got such a problem with one part of the compass.
Yeah, and what's wrong with the colour of my hoodie? You stop.
Well, I always like the concept that, like when they say, the East, talking about the Orient. But to me, that's kind of like the middle, especially to New Zealanders. It's actually North. And then the West cultures are all the kind of white America. I mean, actually, New Zealand is a Western culture.
Well, yeah,
But
yeah.
we are South. We're also just on a globe. So if you go West, you'll hit everyone at some point. Everyone is to the West on a big sphere.
But what if the world is actually shaped like a dinner plate, like people tell me?
There's still west of that. And
And
go
we're all just
under
bits of
it
steak, bro.
around it.
Every country is a piece of bloody prime ribeye.
Yeah, is there an argument there why you have to hold a compass flat like a dinner plate, otherwise it doesn't work properly?
Oh, possibly.
Oh, I'm sure they
I
can
did see
come up with
I
one.
did see a stupid video that a flat earthen character was doing, and he took this little ass level on a plane, like a builder's level with the bubble in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, took it on a plane like
it's flat
it's not,
the whole
it's not
time.
It's not doing nothing. If we were on a globe, it wouldn't have to like this.
Now,
I'm like,
why doesn't it do anything? Cabin
shit.
pressure.
after I read the first bit, it went like disbelief, entertainment, stop.
yeah.
That's where it
Disbelief,
went.
entertainment. Stop.
Yeah. Anyway, back to this.
Well,
thing
hold
about
on a
South
second,
America.
because I would like to say, if you
Say
want
it.
to take your level on,
Say it twice.
you should go open the door while you're up there. But no, somebody will.
Hey, natural selection.
Just know that you're wrong and sit down. Well, no, they think that airplanes are flight simulators. All of the
yeah.
windows are little screens
Yeah.
showing you like what's outside, but you don't actually ever leave the ground. And then you get out at like a different part of the same airport, and it just leads you somewhere that looks completely different. It has a completely different temperature, and whatever. I mean, it's weird.
If that's the concept, I'm from South and I used to fly over to Brisbane, for holiday or whatever. When did bloody Southern get so hot? Well, when I got out at the so-called Brisbane airport,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
thought was genuine, and oh Lord, it feels genuine. And everyone talks like bloody yobos, don't get me wrong, but hey,
But it was all virtual reality.
actually they just pushed me out the back of bloody the Invercargill airport into the paddock there. And the what I thought were Australians are actually attractive woman sheep.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I am a
I've
Kiwi,
seen
mate.
that,
I can't
yeah.
help it,
That's-
right?
Can't help it.
Hey, Martha and Barbara, get over here.
I can tell you, I can help it.
You can help it because you look like one of their brethren.
The
Billy
eyelashes.
Goat Burke Cobain, all that sort of thing.
Billy Goat Bert Cobain.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
sort of like...
Bert. Hey there, Bert Cobain.
Yeah. You got that well done. Anyway, back to the South America thing. So,
Yeah.
like I said, they do these 10 shows around South America. The final one they are trying to organise, but it's kind of secret, is in Cuba. Because they've never been able to go there due to the rock ban and the communism and all that. So they eventually organised this. Because of this day and age, they've managed to do it. This actually took place, the concert was in 2016 or 2017.
Oh, wow. So it was really recent.
Yeah. Like,
Have they only recently kind of let up on that law?
they
or...
let up, supposedly the law disappeared in the 80s, but it takes a long time for that culture to,
But also, we have laws that we don't change. They kind of disappear and everyone goes, oh, we don't really use them. But then we go, we should actually change that because you can use it as law.
Like in the UK, if you walk into Parliament in armour, you have every right to be decapitated. If you are a pregnant woman, this is the old one everyone knows. You're a pregnant woman, you can ask a police officer, let me pee in your hat, mate, I've got to go.
Yeah, and they'll
Nature's
pull
call.
off, the Bobby pulls off the hat.
He's got to do it.
There was a guy who used to go around with a big cape and a bucket. And you'd pay him like a little bit of change so you could poo in his bucket. And he'd use the cape to like cover you so that you'd have your privacy.
Tell me
while
he's
you poo.
naked underneath and you've got the slong dong you on the back of the
Slowly
head.
turn around and, and then really hit yourself.
You in the back cave now, son.
When you're walking down the streets, instead of having public toilets, there'd be these guys who you would flick a coin to and they'd give you a bit of caped privacy while you pooed in the bucket they had. They'd go empty the bucket and do all the work.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I ever thought about this. A lot of my earlier jobs
What
in
a
my
weird
life,
world we've grown up in that we luckily dodged a fair bit of the weirdness.
we dodged so many bullets being in New Zealand. Thank you, NZ, for existing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aotearoa. You're a good place. I can tell you from experience, working in overalls, because I did a lot of physical jobs back in the day, working overalls, right? Man, if you farted in overalls and you've got your zip done up, because you quite often do, to avoid fire and oil and shit getting in there, the fart will waft out the top.
Yeah, of course it will. It
It's
finds
hard
its
work.
way out.
So what does that dude face all day? Actual feces wafting out the top.
He's probably very, very polite, but he's still sitting there thinking, wow, I mean, that is a stench. The lady before, perfectly fine.
If I was him, I would be a heavy smoker.
yeah, you do that. I'll just be smoking a cigar
Can't
up
smell
here.
a damn thing.
Yeah, if anything, it just helps obscure you a bit more. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, man. I mean, that is a tough role, though. I mean,
So, third attempt.
Yeah.
The reasons that this is such a big deal, the Rolling Stones being able to do a concert there, is because that generation that were growing up between 65 and 85 essentially had a massive part of the culture just robbed from them. I know that's not a far cry from a lot of other shit that went on
did
regarding
they know
cultures.
about rock, though? Or had they just kind of...
It started, what happened was they thought 20,000 people were going to go to this festival, and they were okay with that. 500,000 people turned up.
Whoa.
And the government's like,
what?
oh, the Western world's here. Oh, it's at the door.
So instead of 20,000, 500,000. Far out.
So, yeah, it's pretty crazy, right?
That's dangerous, actually.
Well,
It's
that's
really
what the government
dangerous.
thought, and
Yeah.
they're right, but I think they should have expanded upon it and not done the banning thing. And that's why, though, because they banned it for so long, and these people were like, we effing love this.
We loved
Why-
it so much, 500,000 instead of 20. turned
Yeah,
up.
why are you banning this, you idiot? You could be making money, you could be doing all sorts of... Oh, no.
yeah.
So we don't need your rock concerts here, because we sell cocaine.
And
You
they're
know?
like, but rock concerts, people buy
No,
cocaine at rock
cocaine
concerts.
is for rappers.
No,
It's
it's
for rappers
fine.
only.
It's fine. We don't want to sell it to you guys. We'll sell it to America. That'll teach them.
So basically what happened is all the music over there, it's like it stopped at the 50s.
Why?
Like at least for this big period of time, and then it sort of caught up, you know, a bit. But these people are such incredible fans of it because it represents rebellion against government, and like they actually just love the music so much. Now it has become like a religion. So they are called Los Rollingas, like rolling, like Rollings. The Rollings, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Los Rollingas.
Los Rollingas.
And so the Stones go over there 2016, 2017. They finally get this thing in motion, right? And then Obama's like, hey, I'm coming down. Reckon you could reschedule? And they're like, you know what, Barry, for you, we'll do it. And then the Pope's like, hey, you don't got a Good Friday, stop. And they're like, Pope Francis, get the fuck out of here.
This is the Rolling Stones.
Their management team's like,
They're like,
Pope,
well,
we
yeah.
will not budge for your shit because it's on a certain day. It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with you. It's
Yeah,
not
nothing to
even
do
in
with
your
you.
part of the world.
Yeah.
Why are you
But
even
Barack's
caring?
coming down, respect. Because, I mean, the other thing was that one of the Rolling Stones songs was used against their will. They actually took Trump to court to stop him from playing their music in his campaigns and stuff.
Much like the Americans, we're not going to wear masks. Let's play Twisted Sisters music. We're not going to take it because we don't want to wear masks.
And the Twisted Sisters are like, stop that, put on a mask.
Yeah, we will not contribute to your moronic cause.
Yeah.
That's literally a quote from Dee
Brilliant.
Snyder, the lead singer
That is
of
brilliant.
Twisted Sister.
We are not going to...
Contribute to your moronic cause.
Moronic.
'Cause it's such a good thing about it, eh?
Oh, that's so true.
Anyway, long story short, I know it's been long.
Got to be careful how many times you say long story short.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of that sentence. If you say it 5 times...
I'll just go through and delete the short bits. So it's a long story.
Here comes the editing. There's just no me cutting in. It's just you telling the one story in one block.
That's the idea, but it doesn't ever work like that.
If
They
I-
put on this free concert and everything went very well. It was magic. They had so many obstacles in the documentary. It's called Ole, Ole, Ole because that's what they chant.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah, it's
They do that at
it's good,
soccer
man.
games.
You got an hour 40 up your sleeve. Do like I do. Like, you know my little audio setup on my TV at home. Like, I got the stereo lit. Oh, I cracked it up last night, jamming. It's really great to watch that way because it's all in 4K and the audio's really nice. And like, it was quite an experience to watch. It was cool.
This is not a segue, but it kind of does segue.
Well, I'm finished the story, so you
okay.
don't even have to segue.
Well, I did want to talk about the Los Rolingas. We're like a religious group.
Well, it's like that, but they don't actually see...
They don't worship.
Yeah, they don't. Well, they do, but not in the church way. You know what I mean? Like they idolize. They idolize.
They worship the same way we do when we listen to music.
That's it, bro. Yeah.
They're just listening to music, basically. Yeah. No,
Well, I mean, there was a couple of crazies. Like one bloke, Mick Jagger's like he's in the back of this car and it's driving through Havana in Cuba because that's where it's all based.
yeah.
And he waves at a dude, and this dude just stops and breaks down in tears, like, "Oh my god!" Mick Jagger waved at me. And his wife's full like consoling
that's
him, like, "Oh,"
amazing.
and he's like, "Oh."
It's like, get off me, woman. I want to enjoy
Get
this
off!
moment.
Don't judge me. There's a man moment.
Oh my God, it was him. It was him.
And then there was this other couple who all just dressed flat out in 40 licks Rolling Stone gear, and they're like, "This is our
Lord
son."
Jagger.
That's not even a joke.
Is
They
that-
they said we named our son Jagger after His Majesty.
His Majesty.
That's it, right? And you can see Mick Jagger there in his little voice, like, "Yeah," because he does. He talks out his nose a bit these days.
yeah.
Can't
Oh,
get
that
no
is a-
satisfaction.
that's
We
amazing.
can.
Oh, I can't believe I can still remember my old Segway. So your TV, you've got this huge, big, lovely, delicious TV. I'm one of those people who's like, I really appreciate a good TV, but you'd never find me buying a massive one. Like, I just wouldn't put that much money into it when I can watch it on a small
Oh, no,
one.
we had a massive one. We had a 10-inch bigger one. It doesn't fit in our
Fuck,
lounge
right,
now.
that is-
So
Can I have it?
10
Anyway.
inches bigger,
That sounds better.
25 centimetres
So
larger.
I plugged in my PS4 last night. Right, so I started having a jam, and it's something that I've known this a lot about PS4s. They do not make content for small televisions.
True.
They make games for massive TVs. So if you've got like a normal sized television, I couldn't even tell you how big it is. Not big. It's like a meter across or something.
So it's like a 32-inch or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
36 inch, something
Yeah.
like that. Any PlayStation game that I play, it'll come up with like a little notification, a little bar that gives me some info, maybe a tutorial or something like that. Its writing is so tiny, I often have to get off the couch and get closer. I'll be wearing my prescription glasses or
I was gonna
contact
ask.
lenses. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm not playing bloody PlayStation when I can't see it, but I cannot read it. I actually have to get closer. Like, they have designed it thinking that you're going to be playing on a wall of a television, and then they don't want the words to be too big. And that is
Oh.
notorious across PlayStation games. Yeah.
Well, our one also clicks over to HDR mode because it's a 2020 LG
HDR.
HDR mode, yeah.
Bloody Aussies.
And it looks really good.
I was playing it last night, and then I had, that moment where your brain just flicks immediately on
An
a
epiphany.
thought.
Epiphany.
Yeah, well, you don't, well, not necessarily an epiphany, but you don't feel it creeping up. It just hits you almost instantaneously.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was that you would be sitting as close as you do on your couch to your massive ass screen, and how good this game would be.
Oh, it's
on a
quite
massive one.
immersive. Don't get me
And
wrong.
It just made me feel like I was all the way across the room looking at a tiny little window into cowboy land.
Well, put it this way: when I put it in first-person view mode and have a punch-up with another cowboy,
Oh, yeah.
his fists are the same size as mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Like your actual IRL in real life fists are the
That's
same.
big, bro.
That is, I think that's the size of my television. Is like both of my fists. Nah, I've got little fists.
You gotta have giant hands, bro.
I got little pool cue fists. Like like the end of a pool cue. Yeah. You look out, balls.
Because in this game, we're talking about Red Dead Redemption 2. It can be played third person, such as the Grand Theft Auto series.
So there's a camera floating around behind your
Yeah,
character.
you can see the character. And you can also click into first person, which you see at the character's eyes, which they've done so well. Like, it's a seamless transition, man.
I had to try it
beautiful.
and
It's so cool.
it's good because you can see your gun, your hands, and all the rest of it. But
You ever skinned an animal like that?
No.
In this game, you catch and skin animals. Yeah, it's a bit
Oh,
more.
but
It's a
you
bit
know
more
what's really
graphic.
interesting? How much detail they go. I mean, the whole game is so full of detail, but how much detail they go into just skinning something.
Oh yeah,
Like
he cuts it in the right place. He pulls it off
properly cut
correctly.
it. Yeah.
Except the only ones that are a
There's
bit
bits
far fetched.
where you pull the skin and then actually start slicing down the meat to try and get the skin off, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
pull it, roll it up, put it on your shoulder, have to take it to your horse. Like, it's crazy.
Did they ever release Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC? Surely.
I think they did.
Because that would be a real treat to see. You got that on one of those beautiful new big Samsung monitors. You know the ones? Yeah, because I often watch those product reviews on YouTube and I'm like, oh man, like I don't have a really computer anymore, but I know that is a hell of a monitor, bro.
Yeah.
That is unreal.
Well, I mean, maybe there'll be a Red Dead 3 for the PS5.
It would be nice, wouldn't it?
The new generation, the new Xbox that's coming out and the new PS5 that's coming out are actually surpassing PCs for the first time.
For now.
Yeah. Well, for now, they are huge in their kind of processing and their graphic output.
That's right.
And computers, like, you have to put a lot of money in to try and get them anywhere near it. So really, this is the first time that consoles have actually overtaken PCs.
Yeah.
And their PC gamers are not feeling quite as elitist as they used to.
PC Master Race.
Oh, God, I can't believe that was
Woo
a
back,
thing.
woo back, woo back.
I say was a thing. It still is a thing. People go around saying they're the master race.
I'm
and
like,
they're talking about the fact that they play a computer. And
Shut up,
play
you
it.
sweaty nerd.
Oh, yeah, I know. Why'd you come out here from behind that keyboard, boy?
Because I have a keyboard warrior, sir. This is my sword.
Because I'm winning. Why would I come out when I'm winning?
It's like-
yep, good point.
He's just typing, Randy does 9999 damage. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
You got to remember that. It's like that moment where you're winning an argument and you see the guy getting frustrated because he just can't keep up with the words. He can't keep up with the wit. And then he goes, well, let's take it outside then. Well, no, because I'm already winning. Why would I go and change the venue?
I am not changing my field of advantageousness.
Yeah, I
You know?
have the advantage here. You are much bigger than me. You've
Yeah.
clearly worked this out that the only way you can win is to get into a physical confrontation outside. Well, too bad. Except the day that, I could whoop that dude. And then it's like, well, to be honest, I don't want to fight people. But there's still a little bit like, you crazy? Is that how desperate you are for the only chance you might have? Maybe I'll slip on the mat. Like, that is your only chance. Like, just open your mind or stop being an egg and encouraging me to give you crap with words.
Look, dude, all I said to you was that I think it's okay to eat mushrooms. And look, you've tried to fight me over it. What is wrong
It
with you?
happens, eh? Like you get into fights for all.
You want to go
sorts of-
outside? Well, so we can pick some mushrooms? Yeah! You know.
I had a guy once because I ordered before him at a bar.
Dude, they hate it, man. They get salty.
He wasn't anywhere near me. He was like the other end of the bar, and the bartender spoke to me. I'm not monitoring who's there first, and all that. Usually I'm pretty good. If you're right next to me, I'd know if I was there or you were there first.
I
And
do
I
the
will
same.
say, like, if the bartender looks at me because I'm good with my eye contact and calling for beers without yelling and clicking my fingers, I'll say, oh, they were here first and let you order first. And the bartender will, of course, come to me afterwards. They appreciate that as well. This guy's at the other end of the bar, right? Meanwhile, I don't know how long he's been waiting there. I don't care. I haven't been looking at the other end of the bar.
It's also known as not my problem.
Not my problem. Bartender asks me, I order my drink. He gets in a huff. I don't know what he's huffing about. I'm not even paying attention. Comes over and starts giving me a hard time for ordering in front of him. In line type of thing. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, big man, eh? Come outside and we'll sort it out. It was the first time I've done this, but I just went, sure, see you out there, right? And I start finishing my pint. He starts pissing off, and then I just put my pint down and sip it and wander off somewhere else. And he waits outside
Cold
for
out there?
I don't know, 45 minutes or something like
Good
that.
job.
And he comes back in, I was waiting for you outside. And I'm like, hey, bouncer, that guy's trying to fight people. And they're like, hey, mate, you're out. See you outside, bro. See you outside.
You see that, son? That's a checkmate.
Yeah. It feels a bit dumb the way if you walk out. Ooh, it's oh, where's he gone? Oh, shall I wait? I'll give him 5 minutes.
You know, Jim Jeffries
Maybe
made
he's
a very
gone to the loo.
valid point. Jim Jeffries made a real good point, kind of like that. And he said, back when America's had their gun laws, first written, and you have the right to bear arms in case your government turns out to be a bunch of pricks and that sort of thing. This was when people had muskets. Now, what is a musket good for?
One.
A lot of time to think.
A lot of time to
Hang on,
think.
buddy. You know what? Just let's not worry about it.
Who was it? Was it Chris Rock? And he said, don't worry about making guns more expensive. Make the bullets expensive. Make a bullet $5,000 per bullet. And then you'd be like, oh, I would cap your ass if it was worth it, but you ain't worth it. You ain't worth $5,000. That's fine enough. Your gun costs however much as you use it all the time. But if one bullet and you fire it, that's $5,000 down the drain. You got another one in there, another $5,000. That's like 2 shots, $10,000. Nuh-uh. I'm going to tell you off. That's what I'm going to do. How dare you be celebrating firing them off in the sky like Yosemite Sam? That just wouldn't be happening.
Well, there will be the occasional rich oil baron Texan going, yeah, like on the
Look how rich
Simpsons,
I am. It's like,
the dual revolvers.
you've been firing for 5 minutes. Oh, I am not as rich as I was.
Oh shit, that's a house deposit. I was just thinking, you know how that guy waited outside for so long? He
Yeah.
could have been served about 25 times at that bar.
Oh, yeah.
Basing the average time to get served at a relatively empty bar is what a minute and a half?
He wasn't a master of logic.
I had a maths teacher actually once tell me the same story. He had someone say that to him. Oh, mate, yeah, outside, all right. And he goes, all right, look, go out there. I'll be out in 10 minutes. If I'm not out, start without me.
Start without me. Well, I'm not there. Start without me. I'll show him. Ow. Ow.
Go, Jim, hit him.
Yeah, the bouncer's just, this guy is punching himself in the face.
Yeah, no, leave it to go.
Let him go.
I'm videoing it.
Yeah.
I want a YouTube channel out of this.
Oh, that's genius. I should have thought of that.
Yeah, he's just cutting old Scottish bloke.
It's crazy though, eh? Like, I mean, just the concept. Most fights that I see, they just happen.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
spontaneous.
somebody said something and the guy just goes, nah, and then like jabs the guy and hits him with a glass. Or
And
something
in New
like that.
Zealand, it is
Whoa.
always just about started with the words, what?
See-
Can't.
Yeah.
Can't, as in cannot, can't. Sounds a lot different in the moment, though.
What is it you can't face?
You
But
left me hanging outside.
For somebody to say, let's plan this, let's set a venue, let's set a time.
What are you, Dana
I'll
White?
see you outside.
You
Yeah, yeah,
Dana
yeah.
White?
You Dana White from UFC. See you outside in two minutes. What's your time say? All right, we'll say about past then.
So I'm running. I'm running late, mate. Look, I had a lot of coffee today. I had to stop at the
Yeah.
shitter. Coffee supercharged the bells.
Admittedly, I have had friends do the same thing. Some of them aren't my friends anymore, but some of them
What,
are
to
like,
you?
know, like, yeah, come up the road and we'll sort this out, right? I put the whole act on. I go, oh boy, you want to go outside? Oh, it's on. Ooh, it's on.
I couldn't
And
say
then
that seriously.
I get up the road with them and I fuming, and then I'm like, all right, man, now that we've got a bit of time away from everyone else and our pride's no longer on the line, what's going on? What's wrong with you? What's happening?
What's happening, bro?
What's happening? Like,
Yeah.
Let's talk it out.
You know, I
And
didn't
I
mean
have-
to cut that line.
I have had some
I didn't
very-
mean cut the line. You just thought I did.
Look,
Look, I did. I'll
I've
get a
had some
jug.
very good,
You
very
drink with me.
deep conversations with friends where we've just figured it out. But the thing is, like, they get really hyped up on it,
Yeah.
and then they've got an audience, and then they have to deliver, even when they don't. So if you walk them out of there like you're gonna, and everyone's like, oh crap. So
But
long as they
everyone
don't
watches
follow
at
you.
that point. Everyone's like usually chasing into, oh, is it going to be a punch? Let's have a look.
To be
Let's
honest,
have a look.
most of our other mates are like,
Yo,
like-
world star. World star.
they probably know I'm acting, and they're like, oh yeah, Leo's gonna do his
Leo
talking
did
thing.
this on a TV show. This is an act.
That's the same line. He's just gonna talk at him.
Leo, at least put the accent on.
It's like, I wish he'd punch me. I mean, when he talked to me, I was just standing there hoping he'd punch me.
Bro, have you got a blood pack?
yeah. Oh, I've been hit.
Oh,
I've been hit.
squirts the blood pack out. Oh, yeah, you got me good. Where's he? Well, you should see the other guy.
You should see the other guy. So yeah, I mean, it's a funny old thing, eh? And Red Dead has a bit of that where people like give you smack talk here.
Oh, so there's
in
a
the
beauty,
game.
right? With everyone you don't know in the game comes up as a stranger, and if you sort of look at them, you can change his perspective over to them. Either has greet or antagonize.
Yeah, you can
Antagonise-
greet them, antagonize, or rob them sometimes.
Oh yeah, see, I've got to
Sometimes
do
you
that
can
for a
like point
challenge.
your gun at them and then
Yeah.
say like, "Give me your money," and they freak out or pull their gun on you. You know what's really nice is that the game has like this beautiful fluidity to it. So when somebody says something like, "Hey there, Arthur," he'll say, "Oh, hello there, ma'am." He's actually answering them, and he's loaded up to answer when you greet back.
The world
Yeah.
feels lived in.
It really
It
does.
really does. I would go as far to say that no real other developers ever made that level of a sort of real feeling world.
Yeah.
Because it is, man.
I
You
think
go out in the bush, you face a bear, you try and shoot that bear, he gonna maul you. He gonna rip your face off.
He's actually mauls you around. Like you are trying to fight off bear arms and.
You ever
bear
been attacked
claws.
by a panther? Well, my version of Arthur has.
I died very quickly.
I managed to shoot it in the face as it ran back at me.
Yeah, I got the second one.
Yeah, you carry a
Poorly.
shotgun for things like this.
yeah.
Well, bam! Who's a panther now?
Who's a panther now?
Who's a panther rug?
You
Who's a
still
pan-
are. You're a dead one.
You're also a rug. Gotten wiser at me fighting. I just throw a stick of dynamite in there now. And it goes bang!
Get the varmint rifle. Let him know he's a
Yes,
pest.
that's what I'm talking about. The 22, man. Yeah.
You're a varmint boy.
And sometimes I'll throw axes at them too and pop shots with
I think
axes.
it's. I mean, I'm definitely going to be playing it again probably tonight, and so you're all going to hear that episode 9 of the Slane and Leo podcast will be getting more progressively cowboy sounding.
Oh, yeah.
Because I
Partner.
do. There's a thing like you can pat your horse just to like calm it down because your horse will get spooked by stuff.
You're
And you
all
can pat
right, girl.
it. You're right, girl.
This is chewing tobacco.
Come on now. Yeah, so you're chewing on the part of your hoodie.
You can make him smoke a ciggy and drink a beer
Yeah.
in a bar. That's
You gotta
cool.
go have a bath and cut your hair and
Yeah, his hair
shave
actually
your
grows.
beard
His
and
hair
his
actually
hair and
grows,
beard
and you
grows.
have to dictate how much you want the barber to cut off it.
even if you stand
Same
in a
as
certain
shaving.
way, if you stand in a certain way and the light comes through behind the ear, it lights up the ear like like it normally does. Like they put so much effort into it, so it sees through the cartilage. The light comes through the cartilage and has that kind of red glow. Like they've done all of that to the game. They've made it so detailed. It's
Another one,
crazy.
when you're riding your horse, right, and you're out in the middle of nowhere, you're doing a bit of hunting. Say you shoot a deer or something like that. Now you can go and skin the deer, obviously. You know, you take the pelt to sell, you take some meat to cook and eat. You do the skinning near the horse goes,
Oh, it
and
doesn't
he's
like
like,
it.
oh, I'm sorry, girl.
Yeah.
Who does it, man?
I'm sorry, girl. I
Yeah.
shouldn't have been so close.
Yeah, they walk up, and I always give the horse a pat and give it an apple, like, you're
Yeah.
all right, Doris.
And that's it. Like, because you can pat the horses and brush them and feed them and stuff like this. I've had times where I've run into a tree with the horse.
You feel
and then I
bad?
feel so
Oh,
bad.
dude, I did it last
I
night.
sit there and I'm like, you're okay, horsey.
Right.
And then I like feed him,
Yeah.
brush him, pat him.
So
Until
I
it's like
was,
calm. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a bad person.
So where I've got it saved, I'm out looking for bears doing a challenge. There's a challenge you've
Yeah.
got to kill a couple
This is
of
a
bears.
rawr beer.
Yeah. I've done the big rar beer, but there's a challenge you've got to get a
Not
couple
a
more.
glug beer.
Oh, well, see, I do both. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm out hunting bears and all I can find are these giant hairy monsters.
And I'm like, I got the horse up on the rock. I'm sitting on the back of the horse. I've got the binoculars, and I'm looking around these hills for bears because that's where they live, right?
Yeah.
And there's all deer, there's rabbits, and like bears eat these things. There's got to be bears here.
That's the thing though. You don't see them attack,
You'll see scavengers and you'll see coyotes go for things.
but
I have.
only after they're dead. Because I
No.
was hunting that panther and I'm like, this panther must be chasing some of these jackrabbits I'm seeing or that
I'm
deer over
sure they
there,
do.
and-
I'm sure they do it.
and I feel like that would help because then I'd be like, they're running away from a panther, but
I-
they don't run away from
I
a
feel
panther.
like
They run
I'm
away from
sure I
me, and then I
witnessed it
get
yesterday.
confused.
There's birds on the shore.
Yeah.
And these coyotes were giving them a stir up.
Ah.
I'm sure I saw that because I was like, I'm sitting there in binoculars, like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, there's lots of things. We'll get your gun out. There's food
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But anyway, I was up in the hills and I was just like, thought I was on this little rock looking around. Fell off the rock. That he falls off the horse. The horse is on the ground. And my first thought is,
No.
did I kill my horse? I hope not.
Oh, that is the worst.
Yeah, but then it's like, gets up, it's like, and I'm like, look, have an apple.
Honestly, it is probably the most.
Bro,
when
it's
you first start
stressful.
playing the game, heaps of it is terrifying because then like you dying is terrifying, but actually the most scary thing is your horse dying. Because if your horse dies, it doesn't respawn like you do somewhere else in the city, and then half health, lose your money, stuff like that. That's like your horse is gone. This horse that you've bonded with, because there is bonding with the horses.
Yeah.
You've bonded with it. It is dead. It is not coming back. You have to go and find an old save. I am
Or another horse.
terrified and constantly saving everywhere I go. I'm like, save.
I got
save,
two
save, save.
saves. I got the one that the autosave constantly plays with, and then I've got my one I'll do every hour or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it, man. Otherwise, you got to go do it all again.
Oh yeah.
Or if you just have that moment where you nailed it, you're like, I've nailed it. So I've done everything so well right now. Oh, better save. I don't think the next generation understands how important saving is like we used to. We weren't even allowed to save until you got to a save point, which meant we had to starve. We couldn't go have dinner when Mum was calling because there wasn't a save point anywhere nearby.
Well, see, I played the demo of Kingdom Hearts 3 the other day.
Yeah.
Because I was a bit poor and I was like, oh, I'm kind of bored too. Look, I'll download some
Don't
demos.
lie, you love it.
Yeah, it was great. Don't get me wrong. I played the early Kingdom Hearts and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I downloaded, I'm playing it, and that runs a save point system. And so Mrs. is like, oh, look, we're going to head out soon. And I'm like, yeah, not a worry, babe, because I'm already ready at this point. She's still doing
It's a
shower and
remake,
that.
isn't it?
No,
Is it new? They're
It's-
just
it's
still
new.
doing.
It's
They're just
full
still
new.
doing save points.
and it still rocks a save point.
Does it auto save as well? Because I mean, that didn't exist. Auto saves. You had to
As
find.
far
the
as
save.
I'm aware, see, I don't know, because it's only the demo. But you have to save. You have to go to the save point, press the button to save. And that's not a thing. I remember being around, you'll remember too, before even saves existed, and you would hire out a game from the video shop, you look in the back page of the manual, and there would be passwords.
Oh yeah,
Remember,
yeah,
like, level
yeah,
passwords?
Yeah. Level
Bro,
passwords.
the first Crash Bandicoot still used them because memory cards for PS1, for young bucks listen to this, PS1 had a separate 256 kilobyte memory card.
That's right. A lot of the consoles had little memory
yeah,
cards.
like an external, it's like a USB, but far bigger and older, and holds next to nothing.
and only ever fit into your PlayStation. Or
Yes,
your,
you could
or
not do
your
it in
GameCube.
anything
or-
else with it.
yeah,
Nothing. But having that, they were an accessory you bought, not something that came with. So when I first played Crash Bandicoot, you would go through the bonus round.
I like that you call it Bandicoot as well instead of Bandicoot. You're like Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah,
What did you say?
Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. No, you're wrong. Take it from me. Bandicoot's Australian thing. I know about
Hey,
Australians.
all right, mate. All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Yobbo,
Chill
sit
out,
down.
cobber.
Sit down, cobber. You'll take this outside.
Hey, don't all get all bandied on this one.
But anyway,
Get your
in
bandy in
Crash
a twist.
Bandicoot, the place where you could resume your progress from was at the end of a bonus round.
So you have to write it down, eh? Like it'd
You-
say, "This is the code for this level,"
you had to
you're
write
like,
it
"Oh,
down.
where's a pen?"
There's actually a section in those old game manuals for writing these bloody things down.
Yeah,
At the
that's
back,
true,
there's
yeah.
a notes page.
A notes page. For your
Dude, there's a
levels.
notes page.
Oh man, we have come really far.
Here's one for you. The original Final Fantasy VII. The reason I think of this because I recently played the demo of the remake, which I'm planning to buy when I pass this course here.
Yeah.
That's my reward to myself, right? It's really good. Don't get me wrong. It's like playing a movie. It's bloody magic.
Yeah.
The original was on PlayStation 1, and in the back section of the book had a walkthrough on how to beat the first boss. From start of game to beating the first boss, it told you how to do it.
Just because you couldn't.
I was full spastic at this point. I'd never played an RPG game in my life, and
Yeah.
I'm just mashing circles.
Well, because they were.
I was mashing it, and I kept dying really badly. And then I stopped because I was only like 5 years old. I didn't know what was going on. I
Yeah.
stopped and read the menu. I was like, attack and magic. I'm just pressing attack, and it tells you like use magic, and I'm like, oh snap! I got magic. Oh. Yeah.
Well, Nintendo used to hire a call center, so they'd have all these people sitting waiting on the phone, and you'd be like, "I'm stuck on Legend of Zelda." Looking for a heart piece, etc., etc., and the person goes, "Oh wow, yeah, cool. Well, where are you now? You need to go walk to the left and do this and do that." And so you'd have these kind of technicians on the phone. Now you got to remember there is no internet, there is no massive computer system that is linked in a network, so they've got like workflows in front of them. It is a book, a binder full of pages and pictures of the game, and you'd have to go home and memorize it if you worked in
The
this
world's
place.
longest Microsoft Word document.
And most of the time, when you called them up, they're pressing pause or going, "Wait, 1 second, I need to get to a save point," because they're playing the game or
Yeah.
a game, a Nintendo game, while they're at work, for work.
Did you ring one of these once?
Never.
I never did either.
No.
I know what you're saying. I remember the now you say it. I remember
I'm
the
sure it
bloody
cost money, didn't it? Like,
yeah, a couple of bucks a minute or something. How do you pay for that back then? Well, yeah, I'll send you a check, mate.
No, it goes on your phone bill.
It does,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I remember if you had to ring an expensive number, I remember when cell phones first came
That's
in.
how Mum finds out.
Yeah. You'd use mum's phone.
Operator, don't charge me on this one, please, Doris.
I once
Sure
bought,
thing, love. Who do you want me to put you through to? Yeah, Doris, she's my friend.
I once bought for the original Final Fantasy VII. It was, the classified section in the paper, comparable to Facebook Marketplace for those of you who are young. We had what was called an under $50 column, and everything listed had to be $50 or under, obviously. There was a Final Fantasy VII walkthrough for $10. I said,
Ooh,
hey,
tasty.
Dad, I've got pocket money, because I was about 6, 7, 8. I'm probably 8 years old at this point.
Because you're being diplomatic with your dad.
Yep, Dad, I got pocket money. You want to take us to town so I can pick up this bloody walkthrough? He's like, yeah. And he did.
Yeah.
He did. But the thing was, it's like the magic, instead of being called thunder, half of it was badly translated Japanese. So it was like, use Juryoku. I'm like, the hell's a Juryoku?
Yeah.
And you eventually work it out, because you're like, they've constantly said Juryoku against a robot. I know thunder works well against a robot. Okay, Juryoku thunder. Process of elimination, which,
I think that makes it way more fun.
oh yeah, the element of, oh, hang on, we've got a trial and error bit of this crap.
I'm not just going to give you the answer. I'm going to help you to find your own answer.
I did that with Jethro in our radio show. Shout out to Jethro, he's a good man. He'll be like, what do you do for this? I'm like, what do you do? I just asked him the question back.
If you had to do it, where would you do it? And how does that make you feel?
And based on that, based on me replying the question just back at the ball in his court, making him think about it,
Yeah.
50% of the time that works, based on today.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the
He
ways...
cocked one of them up and did not cock the second one.
One of the things that we were taught in our generation was when you're at school, you put up your hand, you ask a question, the teacher answers it. What the teacher should be doing is encouraging thought around how you find the answer yourself. And that way you grow up to be an adult who finds his own answers versus one who just waits around to be told.
Yeah, that's very true, man. Initiative. I feel like initiative, well, I don't want to go so far as to say it's disappeared, but I feel like it's not as prevalent in perhaps like the younger generation because from a young age they know how to Google and things like that, so they don't have to think like we
Yeah.
had to think.
I mean, I can feel having Google at my fingertips wearing away at my own abilities. now.
I'm way worse at spelling than I've ever been.
I don't know, like people are like, where did you reference that from? And I'm like, oh, let me just Google it or I just say you Google it. Like, do your own
Google it,
research.
man.
Consider it research.
Don't
It's like
question me,
looking-
I'll be waiting outside.
looking through Google instead of like talking to experts. I don't know who I'm reading off of in Google. It could be anybody.
Yeah, and even if they source it, they're like, this is where we got it from. Be a bullshit artist too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
or
you got
she.
it from Wikipedia? Who updated that?
Yeah,
Like-
anyone. See, I remember when Wikipedia was sort of, it had been out for a little while, but the dudes I was working with at the time back in the automotive trade, they weren't really aware of what it was. So I said, Scotty, I said, watch this. Anyone can edit this page. And he's like, no.
No, mate.
I logged
That's
into
a
the
proper scientific document.
Wikipedia page for a turbocharger
Yeah.
car part. And I changed the word to drongo charger, hit the button, and then we reload the page, and dear Lord, there's a drongo charger. And I'm like, see that, Scott? Now, I'm not a prick, I'm going to change it back.
Oh,
But,
thank goodness. Yeah, that'd be bad.
maybe it's an Australia turbo. Yeah, to get the drongo charger button is good.
Yeah.
Put it
And
on the Ford down there.
That's the kind of change where somebody who knows what a turbocharger is looks at it and goes, I don't know if I can change that. Maybe he is being specific to an Australian term. Like, he's not sure. And then he's like, you've put doubt in his mind and he can't correct it.
And then he learns to technology, and he becomes Reddit, and he asks people, I once heard the fable of the drongo charger.
I still do not have a Reddit account.
Neither do I, but I read a lot of shit.
People send me interesting stuff, so I read that. But that could be echo chamberish. But I tell you what, if I'm in an echo chamber, I like it.
I like
It's full of
Quora.
reasonable sounding people.
Do you go on Quora?
No.
So Quora,
Quora.
I say Quora. I don't know if it's the right way to say it, but Quora.
I don't know.
But it's essentially, it's just like a forum, but people ask specific questions. They'll just be like, what is Donald Trump actually like in person?
Yeah.
And all these people who have met him throughout his life, you know, some gave good reviews of him, some gave bad reviews, but it was interesting to read all these perspectives.
Yeah, and that's
You
the
know?
thing is you do get the perspective.
You do, yeah, that's the beauty of it.
But if somebody says, how do I fix this error on my computer? You'll also get these perspectives which are incorrect.
Turn it
but
off and turn it on.
One of them will work for you, and then you go back in and say, thank you, that was the right answer, and that one will be lit up green as this worked.
I've recently started doing those things like on an app or something on the Google Play Store. Was this review helpful? And if
Yeah.
it's a bull one, I download a lot of games on my phone. You know, always get these people in there who have the oldest, crappiest phone, and they're like, "This game's crap. It doesn't work on." And I'm like, "Well, don't buy a $25 phone and expect to do it."
I'd be like, this game's crap because it's on a phone. Just because it's on a phone. Can you plug a PlayStation controller into it? No. Does it have a mouse and keyboard? No, it's crap.
But you can Bluetooth controllers to your phone.
The best games I've ever played on phone was so basic, like in terms
Snake?
of gaming.
Snake.
No, there's a
The
good game
OG.
called Hoplite. And it's you're kind of a little gladiator. And when,
A hoplite is a little gladiator dude, isn't
Yeah.
it, with a spear?
so
generally.
you can move around on these hexagons. The whole board is made of hexagons. When you move, then it's the enemy's turn to move. And they all move at once, and you know how they attack. If you're in their attack range on their turn, they will attack you. So you've got to avoid it, and you've got to attack them with your attacks and work your way around. Like a bit of a puzzle.
It's a little bit like chess in real time, would you
Kind
say?
of. I mean, it's
Yeah.
complex, but very simple.
Yeah.
And it is
That's chess
highly
all over,
enjoyable.
bro. That's chess all over. Complex but simple.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and to be honest, that's about as much as I need on my phone. Like, I don't need my phone running. I've got a computer. I've got a PlayStation at home. Like, I don't need my phone cranking out the good stuff.
I will not lie. I play Dragon Ball Z Legends on my phone.
You do.
Or Dragon Ball Legends, actually, it's called. And it is majestic, and I run it in super high resolution mode and super performance mode. It's right up there with the equivalent of a PS3 or PS4.
Look,
game.
I mean,
it's so good.
The thing is, though, games are designed to give you that reward dopamines. You know, like you've done something good, you open up a chest, it goes with
This
these
is a
lovely
very good
noises,
point.
and yeah, so they're designed in that way. But mobile games are designed really toxically. They are designed in a way to be addictive, to keep you looking at the screen, then throw ads at you as you watch it, and they do that as much as possible.
Well,
so it's
think
kind of
about it.
gross.
Every mobile game has some sort of like missions or rewards to
Yeah,
do. It'll
daily
be like
quests.
Yeah, daily quests. They are on every single mobile, and it is. It's to get
And
that
little
screen time
reminders.
up.
Have you done your daily quest today? Oh, I need to do it.
I need more Dragon Balls.
And then when you're in there, it goes, "Boo-ling, welcome back." And you're like, oh, I'm sorry. Yay. Yeah, Dragon Ball Legends is pretty cool. Like, in terms of graphics.
Shut up! You
and, like,
uninstalled it, Dick.
I know I understood it because of how toxic it was. I mean, it's cool in the sense, like, as mobile games go. Like, it's very cool in fighting, graphics. It's, you know, I like Dragon Ball. It's got all of that stuff going on. But it's also very much a mobile game. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
could feel it leeching and trying to latch onto me and pull me in for every day. And my computer games don't do that. My PlayStation games don't do that. Mobile games
It's because they're
do that.
paid games.
Yeah.
They don't care. Once you paid them, they're like, okay, you can play or not. We don't care. We've got your money.
There are some free-to-play games on PC where, you know, you can upgrade and get the DLC. But once you put that aside, it's not just constantly haunting you with ads and stuff. Like, you can play the game without doing the DLC. It's just like, you just won't have all the cool stuff from the store. The store is always there, and sometimes it mentions
I
the store,
like
but it
that
doesn't,
concept. That's what I actually did like about the Dragon Ball thing. It is, it does have the daily quests, and it does have the very easy rewards. There's always something you can do to quickly
Chests to
get a quick
open and-
fix, But I'm an example. I'm a free-to-play player. I think twice in my life, I've spent 2 sets of $18 on it, and this was like a couple of years back when it first started.
And now you can never delete it.
Oh
'cause
no,
you've
no.
spent money on it.
My point is though that it's one of those things. Like it's like, hey, look, you can pay for shit in the shop if you want, or you can just do some levels, grab your crap, and have a crack at the contest anyway. Up to you.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it, and it doesn't hugely. There's no secret items that the free players can't get. It's none of that shit.
How long have you been playing it for?
2 years.
2 years, and it costs you $36 all up. That's pretty good.
That's only because I chose to try and win a player. Looking back now, I was probably in a weak moment. I was drunk.
Probably didn't need to do it.
Probably got home from the pub like, yes, I won the Goku.
But think about it this way: like, if you spend like $100 on a game, you take it home, you play it a bit, maybe for a week or a half a week or something like that, and then you're gonna get a bit dull of it, or another game comes out, you start playing that other game, and that one goes on the back burner.
Yeah.
You've spent $100 on something you played for less than a week, but you've been playing a game for 2 years. Now, you didn't have to pay the $36
Oh,
all
yeah.
up, and you did it in installments.
I'll be honest, it didn't even help me. I didn't even win the bloody role.
Yeah.
I do have him now.
But I mean, at that point, like, at least you are, in a way, you're saying the game developer gets some of the cash. But really, he's getting all that money from all the advertising anyway.
Yeah, well, sorry, that was the other point. There's no ads in it.
There's no ads. Oh, so
Zero.
When you paid, or...
No. There is just no ads at all.
I didn't notice. It just felt like it was trying to attach itself to a certain part of my brain.
Nah, well, what you probably experience is when you first log in, it'll tell you all the events that are currently on.
Yeah.
It'll go,
Oh,
this event's on, this event's on, this event's on. We recommend you do this one because it offers the greatest rewards for nothing.
It also did the congratulations, because you're new, have all of this, and then go open chests with it. And I sat there for probably
Summons.
45 minutes,
Yeah.
opening like 200
See,
chests.
my missus did the same thing and won all of the newest, greatest players that I
So
don't
that's
have.
what matters to you. I was like, I've sat here for 45 minutes playing a boring chest opening game.
Hey, chests are cool. Depends what you're taking off them.
No.
Bras!
Chests aren't cool. They got the boobies.
Well,
Chests aren't cool.
I think this is perhaps what we have to bring to the table today. This has been our experiences. Essentially, you've just heard about Leo and myself's week. This is my week, bro. I've been playing games.
That is it.
And just back on the radio, you
So,
know.
like, we need to get outside and bring you guys some better content. Now, what is the number of the episode next week, Slane?
Next week,
Yep.
Iwa.
Ewa it is, number 9. Wow, 2 more to go.
Yeah, I know, right?
And then should we keep going? We never know.
Well,
They might get requests in desperatly asking us
you know
to
what?
stop.
Maybe I'll put a poll up on the interwebs somewhere. On Wikipedia. I'll put some bullshit facts up and this show
Yeah.
won awards and the NZ
Ooh.
New Zealand On Air Media Awards.
Yeah. Oh, if you lie about me getting awards,
Yeah.
and then when people go like, we hired you because we thought you won an award, and I go like, what? Who said that? And they go, this guy. And I'm like, oh, well, no, that's not true. Well, I didn't say that. You did. And then
Yeah.
I'm not the guy
See,
being fraudulent.
you know-
They're just the idiot. They got tricked by some guy.
I think your
and
name.
don't listen to this podcast person who hired me who got tricked by Slane. Don't find out about this.
I feel like your name could pass off as one of those fake names. But it's a good name. Don't get me wrong.
Which
Leo,
one?
Leo Brett Kelly Chums.
Oh,
Great name.
you mean the name, the whole name.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
just the whole name. But I feel like
The first name and the surname. Whoa.
you know, like you see in movies, and like they like make up a name on the spot. And, it's like long
they
and kind
look
of
around, and
Yeah.
a guy called Brett walks by.
John.
A guy called Kelly goes past.
Yeah.
There's a guy in pajamas.
Yeah.
He's like Leo, Brett, Kelly,
Pajamas.
pajamas, Chalmers.
Pajamas. Yeah. Because if my last name was Pajamas, that would be ridiculous, right?
Well, my dad's name starts with a P, so he's P Chalmers. Pajamas.
I just got it.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
And we'll leave you on that. We'll see you next week for episode Iwa. Thank you for tuning in to Leo the Lion, Slane the Main.
Kia ora whānau, ka kite mā te wā.
Oh, leaving on a dad joke. I love it. That was magic, bro. You're really showing that 37 coming up.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.